Celtic, up to the edge of the penalty area, goes for goal, takes a deflection, Ballard, it's in! Adam Idah has scored for Celtic in the 89th minute, and surely now Celtic are going to take home the double. Butland could only parry it back out. It might have taken a deflection, Butland couldn't give a hold of it, and Adam Idah was the man on the spot to knock it home. It is Celtic 1, Rangers 0.
Hello again, everybody. Welcome back to the Celtic Forever podcast. The last post-match reaction of the season. This is the last one. Celtic 1, Rangers nothing. Scottish Cup final on Saturday. What a day it was, John. What a day. How are you feeling today, buddy?
I'm feeling good, Just glad the season's over. All finished on a high, of course. All delighted. Just beautiful, wasn't it? The weekend, just a beautiful weekend, beautiful season actually. Although we had our struggles, but what a season! What a way to finish it.
Yeah, it's take a deep breath into it, John. The day after the night before, I feel like, John. Things have calmed down. It was party yesterday, wasn't it? Party everywhere in Glasgow. You know, it was just a beautiful day. Party atmosphere everywhere. Celtic fans all behaved themselves. Absolutely outstanding day. Clinch another double, John. That was a double, a treble, and a double in the last 3 years. It's just total dominance, isn't it?
Aye, it's really good to see into all these trophies, and I'm milking this one in particular because of the, Rangers are the only team that can do the treble and all that utter drivel we heard off the Scottish media and their players and all that. So they're left looking a wee bit stupid, Zander.
Yeah, it's, do what Celtic do. That's the way I look at it. Do your talking after the game. Do your talking when the trophies have been handed out, and Celtic have done their talking over the last week or two, John, winning the league last weekend. Oh, well, it was 2 weeks ago against Kilmarnock, but trophy last weekend, John, trophy this weekend. Absolutely outstanding. The players just have that winning mentality.
Aye. They have the winning mentality, and it's, I don't know, it could have went different yesterday, but let's not forget that. It could have went different. We've seen a different performance for the Rangers team, of course, but the winning mentality, as you say, it's built into Celtic now, isn't it? Just win. They don't know anything else other than winning. Can't be a bad thing, can it?
No, John, it's the mentality is brilliant. Rangers are going on about another clear out, yet another clear out. Next year, FC. I've heard it year after year. One trophy, John, winning that league during COVID. But we said that every Celtic supporter said that when they won that league, they won it because of COVID, and it's their only trophy, John, and it seems to be the truth, isn't it? Because they've not got the mentality to win these trophies in full stadiums.
No, it's funny you mention that actually, because I was listening to Clyde the other day, and that guy, can't remember his name, the journalist guy, I can't remember his name. It'll come back. Mark Guidi, is it?
Guidi, right, John. Because I've not listened to Clyde in a while. I listened to it once last week, but before that was 3 years or something since I listened to him. So Guidi, yes, he's still there. I take it.
Aye, it was him. Aye, Mark Guidi. I don't listen to Clyde either, but just because of the games. Now, he was talking about, you're not going to tell me that Rangers won that league because the stadiums were empty. Of course, that's how they won the league. Because the stadiums were empty. It was a time of torment all around the world. A team like that had no chance of winning the league. And then along came COVID. No fans in the stadiums, no people in the streets or anything like that. So you're basically playing friendly matches, 38 friendly matches. And that's what it was. That's the reason why they won the league, because they were playing the equivalent of friendly matches or behind closed door matches. It's a totally different thing. And if it wasn't for that, we'd be sitting on 13 in a row right now.
Yeah, well said, John. And you've got to remember as well, all across the world or all across Europe, I feel like different teams that have never won the league were winning leagues. And like in France, it was Nantes. In Germany, it was, Dortmund. There was different teams all over the world, or all over Europe, should I say, winning the leagues, John. So it wasn't just here; it was everywhere in Europe. This was happening, and it happened here as well with Rangers winning the league. So as you say, that would have been 13 in a row, John, if it wasn't for COVID. So we've just got to move on for that. Serial winner Celtic, John, another double, as I say. Beautiful sunny day on Saturday. We're doing the podcast today, obviously, because a lot of the Celtic fans were just out celebrating yesterday, John, and it was like just parties everywhere.
Aye, well, this is it, isn't it? Too busy enjoying myself to do a podcast anyway, Xander. I mean, I must have watched the highlights of that game 20 times last night. And also I watched the league winning stuff and all that. I watched a lot of that. Just taking it all in, you know what I mean? Just having a second look at it after the season's finished, sitting back and looking at it. It was just such a fantastic season. It's one I will never forget. It's the best out of the last 12 trophies we have won. That was the best one. And the Scottish Cup, just, I don't know, that was just such a good feeling. Winning that, beating them, a derby match in the Scottish Cup final. There's nothing better than that, really, is there? Apart from, obviously, winning the league. It's just as good as that. But in terms of matching up to winning the league, beating them in a Scottish Cup final was right up there, Xander. It was just perfection.
Yeah, the press had it everywhere, didn't they? The last time it was a Glasgow derby final. Of course, they were calling it Old Firm, but it's no. The last Glasgow derby Scottish Cup final was 2002, and they had it absolutely everywhere. Lovenkrands scoring that winner. So obviously the Scottish press showed what side they wanted to win the Scottish Cup, John. But we're going to get into the game in a wee minute. Obviously, it was a very tough game for Celtic. It wasn't a great game, obviously, but the outcome was the most important thing. But we're going to get to the game in a wee minute, John. Let's get through some housekeeping first. The winner for the competition, the correct score, John. There was nearly 100 entries, and there was only one correct entry. And you'll not believe this, John. You'll not believe this. Mad About Football got the correct entry again, John. Can you believe that, John? Twice in 1 week after winning nothing all season. He got the 1-0 correct score. There it is on the screen for anybody that doesn't believe me. 1-0 to Celtic, it says. So congratulations to Mad About Football. The only one to get it right out of 70. Everybody was saying, out of 90, sorry, but everybody was saying 4-0, 5-0, 4-1. High scores, John, but Mad About Football kept his nerve and got the correct score.
Aye, brilliant. Aye, that's it's another double for me.
It is actually, aye, that's right. One of these prizes when the doubles have been handed out. That's all I'll say. So congratulations anyway. Moving on with the housekeeping. Hit like, share, subscribe if you don't mind, just to help the channel out. But we're trying to rebuild it. Just every wee comment, every like, share, subscribe helps the channel, obviously. So thanks for that. Thanks to everybody for entering the competitions. We're going to keep the competition going through the close season, John. Obviously, we're going to be doing just like news bulletins through the close season, and we'll maybe touch on the Euros as well. But we'll touch a wee bit on that later on. Okay, let's get into the game then, John. Scottish Cup final yesterday, kick-off 3 o'clock. Beautiful days, I say. And the atmosphere was just tremendous. To be fair, from both sides, both sets of fans singing their lungs out. It just it made for a great game, John.
Aye, well, the atmosphere was electric yesterday, and it's good to see that, isn't it? Both sets of fans in the stadium. It's good to see that, yeah. And I don't agree with this small allocation for each stadium next season. By the way, I just like it to be back to the way it used to be, or none. That's the way it is for me. But the atmosphere was electric yesterday. I thought it was fantastic. Both sets of fans with their pyros making a lot of noise. Aye. Best atmosphere I've heard in a cup final for many a year. That Xander, was electric, wasn't it?
It was good. It was nervy. I'm going to go into how I felt all week in the build up to this game, John, because all week I wasn't even really. Well, I was thinking about it, but I wasn't really, nervous about it. I wasn't really, I wasn't on my mind a lot, right up until yesterday before kick-off, John, and then all of a sudden the nerves just kicked in. How are you feeling in the build up to the game, John?
I was fine. Aye. Absolutely fine. No nerves whatsoever. Absolutely no nerves. Normally, you get the nerves before a derby match, and being a cup final, you'd expect it to be worse. But no, I was actually quite calm. But just the longer the game went on, I was starting to get nervous, same as everybody else.
Yeah, the game itself, we're going to touch on it very soon. Just try to get a wee build up here. As I say, I was fine right up until the kick-off, and then the nerves just suddenly just kicked right in. You know, I don't know what that was all about. And it didn't get any better during the game, let's put it that way. The game was in Premier Sports. I watched it in Premier Sports, John, and it was like watching the game on Rangers TV. Co-commentator Alan Hutton, everything he said was what Rangers must do. You know, Michael Stewart as well. He wasn't any better. It was dreadful watching it on Premier Sports, to be honest with you. But I had to watch it because I didn't have a ticket for the game, so I had to watch it in Premier Sports. Where did you watch it, John?
It was the same, Premier Sports, aye. Aye, but I kind of, the commentators, I kind of switch after a lot of what they say, Xander. But I don't like that Michael Stewart either, by the way. But they were a bit, you could tell they were wanting Rangers to win, both of them. Yeah. You could just tell that they're not hiding it, really.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Stewart tries to kid on, he's a neutral, but who's he trying to kid? He was desperate for Rangers to win that, I think. And if I'm wrong, apologies to Michael Stewart, but it just sounds like that to me every time I hear him.
Yeah, that's it, John. It was very poor to listen to, but, you know, we move on. The game kicks off. First 10, 15 minutes. Celtic are in control. Nice passing, but no really hurting Rangers, if you're being honest. It was sort of tippy-tappy, back, forward, sideways, but no really attacking their goal. I think the keeper had a shot to save. But we were in control the first 15 minutes, John.
I would say so. I think we were in control the full first half, to be honest with you. Without really creating anything, never really penetrated their defence that much, but I thought we were kind of in control of the first half. But without doing anything, just like you says, backwards, sideways, try to stretch their team a wee bit, I think. But they were well drilled, Rangers, weren't they? They were well drilled. They stuck to their plan right to the end of that game, I think.
Yeah. They were well drilled, John, and they tried to close down the space. But the first half, we were in control of it. Obviously, you had your team lineup on the preview, John. It was bang on. I think everybody had more or less the same team. So the lineup was bang on, and we played some nice football. And then Rangers slightly came into it. The first shot, John, was a Rangers shot, 17th minute. It was Silva. It was a weak effort. It was a shot. Save by Joe Hart. No much power in it. About 16 yards out. Silva should have done better there.
Nah, he's just... when he's attacking, I just get the feeling he's not going to score, Silva. He's just not a player. He was a £35 million signing once, Silva. Believe it or not. But I don't know. I think I don't know. Take up some other sport other than football. Rolling about in the grass, athletics or something like that. He's just not a football player.
Or not, I think I would say. Anyway, so that was that. A wee shot there for Silva. Yeah, tippy-tappy. Both sides were sort of tippy-tappy. Rangers were doing all the chasing. We were doing all the passing in the first half. I noticed around about the 21st minute, John, the players, especially the Celtic players, slipping all over the place. Was that just the wrong footwear, or was you think there was too much water on the surface? Why were these players, we're slipping at vital moments, when we're attacking, slipping, falling over. Why do you think that was?
It's just wrong footwear, I think, Xander. Maybe too much urgency, some players get a wee bit too urgent, a wee surge of adrenaline maybe cost me to try and run too fast or whatever and slip. There was a few times that happened. It wasn't that often though, but I did see a few Celtic players slipping. Never seen any Rangers players slipping. Don't know, probably wrong footwear, I would say, Xander. Or maybe just adrenaline, I don't know.
Yeah, the players got control of it. It was the first 20 odd minutes. I noticed it, John. There was quite a few there. And then the rest of the game, it was fine. So they obviously either changed their footwear or they just got on top of it. So anyway, moving on. We get to this handball, no penalty, John. I mean, an absolute look at the picture on the screen there. And these commentators, John, Alan Hutton and Michael Stewart, his hand is in a natural position. Look at that. His hand's about a foot and a half from his body. Ball strikes his hand. No penalty. Beaten on the VAR. What did you make of that one?
A lot of Celtic fans might agree with me, they might know, but in a real world, it comes off is it Kyogo's back and bounces up and hits him in the arm.
Yeah.
In normal days, that's, to me, isn't a penalty. I don't think it's deliberate. But was his hand in an unnatural position? 100% it was. His arm's out, it's hit his arm. And I'm going back to what I said earlier. You look at the Tomoki Iwata one up at, where was that again? Hearts? Was it Hearts?
Yeah. Yeah, and you've got the Matt O'Reilly one as well, John. I can't remember who that was at home, that one. But yeah, Tomoki was at Hearts, penalty given. Matt O'Reilly, penalty given at home. I think it was Ross County. I mean, this one yesterday was 10 times worse. You know, Celtic players attacking, strikes the Rangers player's arm. I think it was, I can't remember whose arm it came off of.
It was Davis.
John. It was Davis, yeah. It's a Stonewaller for me, 100% Stonewall penalty. If you're going to give the penalties against Iwata, O'Reilly and others, John, that's a penalty all day.
Well, like I says, in the real world, it really shouldn't be a penalty if it's accidental, which I think it was accidental. I don't think Davis has intentionally put his arm out to stop the ball. It was played in at pace and comes off, Keel goes back or whatever and bounces up and hits him. Now, in the real world, that shouldn't be a penalty. But if you want to judge it by standards in this country, look at the ones that Celtic were giving penalties against them for. And I'll just go back to it again and again and again. Tomoki Iwata, he's got his back to the ball, doesn't know where it is, and it hits his arm, and Celtic get a penalty against him for that. So if you look at it in that aspect, it's 100% a Stonewall penalty if that Celtic one is.
Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah. If that ball doesn't strike his hand, John, it's fallen to Kyogo, who's going to put it into the net. That's the way I look at it. So, anyway, we've got to move on, John. It wasn't given. You're probably right. It was accidental. You're right. But as you say, going by the standards this season and last season, it's a Stonewaller. Moving on, John, a sort of weekend deflected shot for Alistair Johnson. This is our first shot and goal, 31st minute. Saved by Butland, but it's an easy enough save. But at least it's a shot and goal by this point, John's shot from Alistair Johnson.
Aye. It was we created nothing cast iron, did we, really, in the first half? In fact, you could look at it really throughout the whole game. We really created nothing. I think there was a chance, was it the first half, where Hatate had a shot and the Rangers defender headed it away. But that was flying out of the net if it wasn't for that. But we never really created anything that whole game, Xander.
Yeah, John. Sorry, you broke up a wee bit there, but I've got the gist of what you're saying. That shot came off. It was Davis again, wasn't it? He actually had a decent game, Davis. But that was flying into, maybe not into the net, but the keeper would have to have pulled off a save. Who was it that hit the shot there, John?
That was Hatate.
That was flying, and it came off Davis' head. So it was a good clearance by him, to be fair to him. But yeah, that was another shot, but it didn't hit the target. You know, it's we were very, very powder puff in front of goal the whole game yesterday, John.
Oh, terrible. Just terrible. I just think Celtic in general yesterday, I think the first half we played okay. We'll try to stretch them by passing it sideways, backwards, try to stretch the game a bit. But you could see their plan. Rangers' plan was to sit in and try and counter-attack us. You could see that. Any mug could see that. They were trying to do the counter-attack job the way they used to do in the Dark Ages. But thankfully it didn't work. It didn't work out that way. But I thought Celtic were pretty poor yesterday, Xander, to be honest with you.
Aye, we're one of the best. There's a lot of nerves there yesterday with the players, I think. You know, it's the team on form going into the game, just won the league, etc., etc. Rangers really had nothing to lose, John, so they came at us with everything, didn't they? So, aye, it was a poor game from start to finish, but obviously the lovely moment we're going to get to very soon. What would you make of this idiot Clements with the flashing the dummy yellow card, trying to get Hatate booked, John? What a professional manager, eh? Try to get a professional player booked, John, in the opposite team. Flashing a dummy yellow card. What do you make of that?
It's just total desperation, isn't it? Desperation by them. And that is what they are, basically. They're desperate. They're absolutely desperate. So, aye. I can't really say it other than that. It's under the desperation by an imbecile, aye.
Can you imagine Brendan Rodgers flashing a dummy yellow card in the referee's face trying to get a Rangers player booked?
That's not something. Brendan's a classy guy, and he's a classy manager. He's not going to do something like that. But look, have they ever had a classy manager in their history? Because I don't think they have.
I think the only decent manager they had was Le Guen, wasn't it? He was a sort of a gentleman. He had a bit of dignity about him, and they got rid of him. So anyway, we'll move on, John. We'll move on. 41st minute, yellow card for Callum McGregor for a slight clip. A lot worse challenges in the game, of course. A lot worse to come as well, John. We'll get into that. But yellow card, John. Probably his first foul. Do you think it was a bit harsh?
You're pulling players back when they're attacking, Xander. You're open to it. You're absolutely open to it. I think you're leaving a referee no choice if you're pulling a player back when they're attacking. It's I think that was a deserved yellow, Xander, to be honest with you. That's my opinion, of course.
Yeah, maybe you're right. I just thought it was a wee bit harsh. It was Callum's first foul in the game. There's a slight tug into it. It's, as you say, he stops the flow of the attack. So 41st minute, yellow card for Callum. Try to eliminate him from the game, but it didn't work because Callum just got stronger and stronger as the game went on. Because in the second half, John, we had to do a lot of defending.
Aye, there was a whole lot of defending going on in the second half, but I think Celtic coped with their attacks pretty well. I don't know. It's all they had to win, really. It was make or break for them to win that, so they were right up for that cup. A one-half game. I did say it to you yesterday or the day before when we did the podcast. It was a make or break for them, and it was a must-win game for them, and I told you they would be right up for it. And I knew we would see something different for them, and we did. But, well, I keep saying, thankfully, it didn't work out for them.
Yeah, that's it, John. Can only totally agree with that, John. Let's move on to the second half. Then, yellow card on Callum, right? Fair enough. But this fell on Hatate from Diamondi. I don't know how they pronounce this guy's name. It was a hack, try to cripple Hatate yet again. Another heavy tackle on a playmaker, Rio. The guy gets spunked, John, but no yellow.
It was a yellow all day, innit? Diamondi, is that how you pronounce his name? I'm not sure.
Diamond.
All right, Diamond. Diamondi. The man from Diamondi say yes.
The man from Diamondi gets away with murder, John, with this hack on Rio. Rio was obviously hot there, rolling about the ground. No yellow card, John. So that's what I'm talking about when I look at Callum's yellow card compared to this tackle on Rio. And then within 2 minutes, John, there's another tackle, Cantwell, on Callum McGregor. You know, the man who's just been booked. No yellow card again. Another terrible tackle on our captain, John. Another foul goes unpunished. They can play with full fluency while our players are getting booked.
Aye, they were going to be some heavy tackles yesterday. The dirty tactics we've seen in the 90s for them had returned as well. So, I think they got away with murder, to be honest with you, yesterday when it comes to the tackling side of the game. It just reminded me that the 1990s Rangers team, who were less than savoury, shall we say, animals.
Yeah, I mean, they brought on the big guns yesterday, the physical players, John, didn't they? Because the 56th minute, there was another foul on Greg Taylor, this time Stirling. Again, unpunished, John. I think later on he started flashing these yellow cards, right? But it's too late then, you know. If these players would have been booked early in the second half, they wouldn't have had the freedom of the game. But another tackle on Greg Taylor, another bad one, John. Stirling on Taylor. No yellow card again, 3 in a row.
Aye. Is that the one? Who was it was rolling about on Greg Taylor's back after they hacked him?
That's the one, John Sterling.
Aye, he just goes down and rolls a bit on his back and all that as well.
Yeah.
And he's a big lumpy of boy still, isn't he? He's 6'1", 6'2", must be about 14 stone lying in wee Greg Taylor's back. 5'6" and built at the side of a fag cutting.
Yeah. He's, I was just sort of, what I was watching at this point in the game anyway, John, early in the second half, was really poor for the referee, really, really poor. No yellow cards, but McGregor gets booked for a slight tug. 56th minute, James Forrest shot. That's the one he dances into the box, and it's blocked by Davis again, John. So that's this boy Davis. He's the one that he's not one of their main centre halves, but he played a blinder yesterday.
Aye, he was all right. He's a Welsh international, Davis, isn't he? So you expect a kind of half decent quality player if he's a Welsh international. Aye, he's half decent.
Yeah, he is. I thought he was decent. Is it Ben Davis? Ben Davis, yeah.
Aye, Ben Davis, aye.
All right, John, let's get into the moment where the Rangers fans were in heaven. They thought they'd went ahead. We certainly weren't in heaven at this point, John, because I thought this was a soft, disallowed goal, to be honest with you. There was a slight push on Joe Hart there. There was a slight push. Enough to disallow the goal, do you think, John?
Again, I think the Rangers can feel hard done by that, but I don't really care, and I'm glad that they're sickened by it. But it's soft, innit? Although there is a wee shove on Joe Hart, that maybe there was a chance Joe Hart was getting to that, because the corners were getting whipped in the whole game, and Big Joe was dealing with them, remember?
Yeah.
And the pace that was played in it, there was a wee shove on Joe Hart. And I think he would have got it if he wasn't pushed, to be honest with you, Xander. So, in that sense, it is soft, but I think it was the correct decision, in my opinion, anyway.
Yeah. I mean, there's a foul there. There is a foul. There is a push, a clear push on the goalkeeper. So that's what VAR's there for, John, isn't it? It's to look at decisions like that. Sima knocks it into the net. The Rangers fans, as I say, they're in total heaven. You know, the noise they were making in that second half as well. You know,
I tell you what, Xander, I'm surprised with Beaton calling it over to get checked.
Yeah, that's right. I'm surprised as well, because I didn't see it, John. Did you see it in normal play?
In normal play, I didn't see anything. I just seen the ball getting whipped in. But I thought the goal went direct in for the corner, to be honest with you. I thought, don't tell me he scored direct for a corner, because it was some corner. But it was Seymour at the back post, sticks his knee out, of course. But I was really surprised that John Beaton actually called that one over to get looked at.
Yeah, that's right, John. And it was disallowed. And there was a push, if you're going to be fair as well, to the Celtic boys. Because as you say, Joe Hart might have got to that. But it was like corner after corner at this point, once they were really attacking. And I noticed that the only water break, John, was when, maybe that's why he done it actually, it was when the Celtic player was down injured from the tackle on Greg Taylor, and they all went over for a water break then. But that wasn't an official water break. That was just because the player was down injured and everybody could get some liquids into them, some water, John. So no water break yet again in that seething heat.
I don't know how seething it was in Glasgow yesterday. I don't live there, obviously, but how hot was it? You're a man that lives there.
25 degrees, John, in the sun.
25 again, was it, roasting?
Yeah.
It did look like a hot day, right enough, but it certainly wasn't 25 degrees here. But aye, if it's that kind of heat in the sun, then surely a wee water break would do all the players a power of good.
Yeah, exactly, John. Yeah, both sets of players got the water break unofficially because of the heavy foul on Taylor, and all the players went over for a drink. So we move on, John. Substitution time. Kyogo, very quiet in the game. We're going to get to the 1 to 10s in a minute. Kyogo comes off, Idah comes on, and within 3 minutes, Big Idah is booked, and it's brilliant, John. It's worth a booking. You know, the Rangers players try to push wee Greg Taylor about, and Calmack about, and Big Idah just comes along, pushes still into the ground. Brilliant. Big Idah again. Just love the big man.
I think it was Sima he pushed.
Was it Sima? Sorry.
Right. Aye, it was Sima's under. Aye. I was killing myself laughing at Greg Taylor, by the way, earlier on when Cantwell went down. Greg Taylor won that ball clean, by the way. Cantwell gets a foul for it. He went through his legs, never touched his legs. Like a nutmeg. Greg Taylor's foot came through his two legs and won the ball clean. And I think Greg Taylor got a booking for that. And but Greg Taylor, Cantwell was on the ground. Gazzetti Cantwell pushes him back down again. So if you just stay there, you're more used there, son.
Aye, that's it. Yeah.
Because they were rolling a bit in the ground all day. Sima, Cantwell, they were all at it the whole game. Raskin, but I was killing myself laughing at big Adam Idah. Sorry, perfect. Just you see them try to rustle McGregor up, try to get him sent off. Big Idah just goes up, beat it, shove. I think he trips the other rest foot after the shove.
It was brilliant, John. I loved it. You know, the big man, he takes no nonsense. He's got a lot of skill. He can score a goal. It's just a player being must sign in the summer, John.
Definitely, aye. He can look after himself, which is good. He's not going to take any nonsense off anybody. That's what we've been missing. So I would say get him signed up.
Yeah, and I think even if it goes to the $6 million, John, Celtic need to pay it. That's the bottom line. We need to sign this boy.
Aye, I think he will sign. I think he wants to go to Celtic. He's a Celtic fan as well, remember?
Mm-hmm.
So I can see it happening, Xander.
Yeah, I hope you're right, John. I hope you're right. Because I tell you something, I personally will be very disappointed if we don't get Adam Idah signed on a long-term contract, John. I will be very disappointed with that.
Aye, he's made for Celtic, isn't he, really? He just looks like the kind of player. Made for Celtic. Celtic man. Knows what it means. Takes no nonsense. Scores important goals. And that's my words about Adam Idah. Made for Celtic.
Yeah, well said, John. Let's move on. So that's the subs anyway. It's superb. 2 minutes in the park and he gets booked. But you don't actually see players getting booked. But, you know, basically what big Adam Idah's saying there is, we're not going to let you bully us. You know, that's what he's saying there, John. You're not going to bully us. You know, he's putting his foot down. Okay, 68th minute, yeah, young Forrest. Oh, he's not young anymore, but Forrest, he's young next to me. Forrest gets a yellow for a foul on Raskin. Fair enough. That was a wee bit of a foul there. So, as I say, the referees begin to dish out the yellow cards, but it's mainly Celtic players that are getting booked. More subs, John, 71st minute. Kuhn comes on. Forrest goes off. So Kuhn comes on, John. He never really influenced it much when he came on, did he?
Nah, disappointing, Xander. Disappointing. I didn't expect anything different, to be honest with you, Nicolas Kuhn. He's had two great games he's played this season and then fell away. But, aye. Look, James Forrest didn't really make much of an impact either, to be honest with you. He had no bad spells in the first half, did nothing in the second half. I think it was right to sub him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. It was just one of the games the players, they just did enough to win it, and that was it. It was a battle, and I think the Celtic players were prepared for a battle, to be fair. I think that must have been the instruction for the manager. But let's move on, John, because there was another yellow card, and it was the push you were talking about for Greg Taylor on Cantwell on the grounds. And I think the one time I did agree with the commentators was when I think it was Michael Stewart said, "Don't push him, just lean over and say what you've got to say. You don't need to push him." It was a pointless booking, but it never affected the game, did it?
Nah. I don't know if he was booked for pushing him back down again when he went to get up. Greg Taylor, he cracks me up. He's a funny wee guy. And when I seen it in slow motion, I just couldn't stop laughing. Just the way it showed you in slow motion, he's sitting on the ground. He goes to sit up, and Greg Taylor walks there in slow motion and puts his hands on and pushes him back down again. Brilliant.
Yeah, basically the Celtic players are saying that you're not bullying us here. We're going to give as good as we're getting, because Rangers had their big, tall, physical players on, John, didn't they? And the Celtic players were taking no nonsense. So it was good to see, I suppose, in that regard. So yellow card for Taylor. Let's move on. Okay, another substitute, Hatate, who wasn't very effective in the game. He did what he had to do, I suppose, but he comes off. Bernardo comes on, and I like Bernardo, John. I've said this to you for weeks about Bernardo, and it's another player I think we should be signing, because we're going to get to the goal very soon, and he had a massive part to play in that goal. But I think he's a decent player. He's already scored against Rangers, John. He's just not been getting much game time.
No, I don't know why. I mean, he was getting all the Champions League appearances, but wasn't showing up in the league, which was weird. Obviously, part of his deal for the loan was to play in the Champions League. I don't know, but Bernardo, it's hard for me to say. I keep saying he's not done enough for me, but he's not getting the starts. I would like to see him getting more starts, obviously, if he's going to sign for, what was it, 7 million or something like that? 6-7 million. You've got to be starting players when you're paying that kind of money for them, Xander, but he has been good in games that he's played in. He's been half decent. He's played no too bad. But has he done enough to get, does it warrant the £6.5-7 million price tag, do you think?
Yeah, I think Celtic should maybe look at trying to get an extended loan, possibly, John. Possibly. I don't know if that's a possibility. I'm not sure. But I'd like to see the guy stay, because we're getting to the goal here, John. The last minute of the game, and it's a drive and run for Bernardo. Power, precision, driving through the Rangers midfield and then defence. Hits the shot at the edge of the box, John. Decent save for the goalkeeper, but he lets it hit off him as well, and it bounces to Adam Idah. He can't miss. He's only about 4 yards out, John. Tucks it under the goalkeeper. Celtic fans are delirious with happiness, John, in the background. I was the same. You were the same. We were all the same. But, John, that drive and run for Bernardo, massive part of Celtic winning the Scottish Cup yesterday.
It's the main part of Celtic winning the Scottish Cup. If they hadn't brought him on as a sub, I think we would have struggled, huffed and puffed, extra time and into penalties, Xander. But what a drive and run that was for Bernardo, absolutely top notch. And if he's putting in performances like that in every game, driving at defenders, get him signed up, because that's what we want to see from midfielders, driving forward like that. I don't know if maybe the Rangers players were a bit tired after all the effort they put in, because Bernardo had a whole lot of space to run at them, Xander, a whole lot of space. And what a run it was. Good save for Butland, and the big man's there. Yet another vital goal from Adam Idah. All the goals that Adam Idah has scored have been vital goals. That's why I'm saying about Big Adam. Get him signed up. And what a feeling it was to see the ball hit the back of that net and Big Adam runs at the corner. It's lucky he didn't get sent off, by the way. I thought he was going to jump out that advertising hoarding, because he was already booked, remember? Another book and he was off. And you've seen Callum McGregor going over to him. Calm down. You've already been booked. You don't want sent off. We need you in the park. And so well done, Callum, for that as well.
Yeah, that's a good point, John, because I didn't even think about that. Idah had already been booked, and he was close to the crowd, wasn't he? So, yeah, good point there. And, you need him on the park, because the referee decides to add on 8 minutes. Don't know where he gets that fate. There was no injuries. There was a couple of subs. There was no VAR, was there? Apart from the goal that was disallowed, maybe a minute added on for that. But, John, 8 minutes, and they actually play 11 minutes, 10 minutes into it, just over 10 minutes before he blows the whistle. So we needed the full complement there, John, because our players are tired as well. Not just the Rangers players put a lot in, to be fair to them. Celtic players put in a lot as well, John. So both sets of players were tired. But I couldn't believe it when I saw 8 minutes gone up. What did you think?
I don't know what I thought. This is going to be the longest 8 minutes of my life. Is probably the first thing that came into my mind. Because there was quite a few stoppages in that second half, Sander. I didn't think as much as 8. I thought maybe 5 minutes would be added on, but it ends up double that in the end. It was nail biting stuff, wasn't it? It just dragged in. But what a feeling when that whistle goes in.
Yeah, John, that's it. Celtic know how to. They've got the experience to see these games out. Maida, another yellow for Celtic. I mean, many's that 6. There was hardly a tackle in the game by the Celtic players, but another yellow from Maida. We tug on a Rangers player. I can't remember who it was, but it doesn't matter, because the final whistle does go, John. And what a feeling, John, what a feeling. They were told, Rangers were going to win the treble. Rangers were going to do this. Rangers were going to do that. Rangers, are the best team in Scotland. And Celtic come out the other end of this season, John, with a monumental double, John. An absolutely brilliant feeling. Cloud 9. I'm still in Cloud 9 just now. I'm going to celebrate tonight because I didn't celebrate last night because I was feeling roughy Friday night. So tonight's the night I'm going to celebrate, John. So what a feeling when that full-time whistle went.
Aye, that was just amazing, wasn't it? And fair play to Rangers for putting up a good fight, but it's a familiar story at the end of the day, isn't it? The trophy cabinet. We're going to have to get new trophy cabinets, and there's not enough cabinets to carry the trophies we've won. It's just outstanding achievement for these Celtic players. 23 trophies James Forrest has won. Mm-hmm. How amazing is that? He's one behind the all-time Celtic great. Is it Bobby Lennox in it? Is it Bobby Lennox? Can't remember. But with 24. But what an achievement for James Forrest. The amount of medals he's got in his own personal cabinet. That's some haul, Xander, isn't it? It's some haul.
It's beautiful, isn't it, John? I mean, we James Forrest, you know, I remember that I was at the game when he played his very first game, you know, against Hearts at Celtic Park. And, you could just tell then, even way back then, that he was going to be a brilliant player for Celtic. He's a legend, John. He's a legend. That's the bottom line. James Forrest, I know that tag gets flung about willy-nilly these days, but James Forrest is a Celtic legend.
It can't be denied, can it? He's 23 major honours. You can't deny that the guy's a legend. And it's the same with Callum McGregor. I think he's on 22 major honours. He's a couple of years younger than Jamesy, maybe a year and a half younger than James or whatever it is. I'm not too sure, but two legends there. And I think Callum McGregor, by the time he finishes his career at Celtic, he's going to turn out to be the most decorated Celtic player in history, which is quite the achievement.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, you know, Callum as well. You know, it's hard to believe that way back when they made Callum the captain, there was some people saying, "Is he good enough to be captain?" You remember that? But you know, what a captain we've got there, Callum, Captain Cal Mack, outstanding. What a wee guy as well. All right, John, let's move on, John, because time is getting on. I think this is the longest I've ever spoke about a game, isn't it?
Quite possibly, but there's a lot to talk about. The season's just finished, remember, Xander. We've got a lot to get through. And look, we're right to add another 5 minutes on the podcast because it's just an unbelievable feeling, and this is the best double that I can remember. Apart from the centenary season's my favourite double of all time. This is, I would say, it's right up there a bit because of the season we've had up and down. Getting told Rangers were going to win the treble off every journalist in the country, and that's why this one is the sweetest one I can remember, apart from the centenary year.
The centenary is amazing as well. Similar, actually, quite similar, isn't it? Because it's the same sort of weather, beautiful, sunny. The centenary was brilliant. Yeah, but this is up there, John. This is definitely up there with that. In fact, let us know in the comments what you think was the best double, centenary double or the double we won on Saturday. Just put a wee comment. Let us know what you think. Before we move on for the game, John, let's just one more wee thing I wanted to bring up was this tackle. This animalistic tackle with the Rangers substitute that got sent off in the last Glasgow derby, John. Who was it on again? Matt O'Reilly. Tackle on Matt O'Reilly, John, at the very end, just before the full-time whistle. What did you think of
that? You broke up there. You probably didn't break up on the podcast, but who tackled Matt O'Reilly?
The guy that got sent off in the last Glasgow derby, John.
Lundstrom.
Yeah.
I didn't see that, Xander. Maybe I went down for a drink of juice or something at that time because I was up and down the stair quite a few times during the game as well. I didn't see that. I'll need to look that up, Xander.
Right, okay. All right, John. To me, it looked like a possible red card, but if you didn't see it, John, we'll just move on. What was your 1 to 10 scoring then, John, individual? This will be funny because we weren't at our best yesterday, were we? So 1 to 10, what are you thinking?
It's very, very difficult to mark them up. And you want me to give you an honest opinion here?
Aye. Just give us your 1 to 10, John. What you personally think?
Joe Hart, 8.5. I thought the big man was outstanding. Joe Hart, I thought he played an absolute blinder. Just his saves and his dealing with the corners and all that, he was outstanding. I think 8.5 for Big Joe, and thanks for your service, Joe. You're a legend, mate.
Yeah.
Carter Vickers and Liam Scales, give them both an 8.
Yeah.
Alistair Johnston, 9. Greg Taylor, 8. Matt O'Reilly, 7. Cal McGregor, 8. Rio Hatate, 7. Adam Idah, 7. Kyogo, 7. And on the other side, James Forrest, 7. And I'm going to give you a quick mark-up for the subs, Sander. Just a couple of the subs. Paul Bernardo, 7. Adam Idah, 9.5.
Yeah, brilliant. Well said, John. And I've got to mention the subs simply because it was the subs that won the game for us. So, it was the subs that helped in the goal. They never won the game for us because the defence was brilliant through the full game. I'll quickly run through mine then, John. Big Joe, 8.5. Both centre halves, 9. Left back Taylor, 7.5. I think he was targeted a wee bit, but he's done well. Johnston, 8. Callum, 8.5. Matt O'Reilly, 7.5. Hatate, 7. Maeda, 7. Kyogo, 6.5. I think he was just marked out the game, the wee man. And on the right, James Forrest, 7.5. 7, sorry, I'll give James just 7. He was sort of marked out the game as well. The Rangers defence played well. And like you, I'll touch on the subs. Big Idah, 9.5. I'm the same as you, John. What a player the big man is. And Bernardo, I'll give him, for that drive and run alone, John, I'm going to give him a 7.5.
Right, fair enough. And your man of the match?
Oh, you put me in the spot. It's got to go to man of the match. I think it's got to go to Scales, John, because I think Big Scales won everything that came towards him, John. Outstanding. I mean, Big Carter Vickers was a close second. I mean, it's too close to call for me, that, but it's got to go to Scales for me, John.
All right, fair enough. I thought the two centre-backs did brilliant yesterday. I thought they were kind of evens with the two centre-backs. I thought the two of them, Big Carter Vickers, with the last-minute tackles and that's under, remember?
Yeah.
Both of them were outstanding. But I'm going to give my man of the match to Adam Idah, just for the goal and the input he put into that game, the taking no nonsense and all that, holding the ball up again. It was brilliant, even though he came on as a sub. I really should be giving it to Scales or Vickers, I think, or maybe Alistair Johnston, but I'm giving it to Adam Idah. He's won us the Scottish Cup, Xander, and I think he did an outstanding job coming on as a sub. He's changed the game.
Yeah, I actually agree with you, John, as well, but it's just because he wasn't on the full game, but you can't just look over that because he wasn't on the full game. The big man was brilliant, scores the winning goal, takes no nonsense, like you said, but absolutely superb. Good choice, John, good choice. And we're going to do a podcast during the summer, and we're going to look back on the season, John. We're going to do that. We're going to touch on players like Johnston, outstanding, even though he was injured half the season, you know. There's a story to be told there, John, this season, and we're going to go into it. We're going to do a special podcast probably next week. We'll do that and look back on the season. But for now, John, that wraps it up, John. That's the post-match done. Celtic, double winners. League last weekend, Scottish Cup this weekend. You know, Rangers get the consolation prize of the League Cup. You know, only counts if it's a treble, I suppose. But what can you say about these Celtic players, John? Give me a wee quick sum up of what you think about these Celtic players this season.
Well, we had the wee dip in some games, didn't we? But I'm not going to get into that. I just want to go into the achievements that they've done. We were told we weren't going to win the league. It was all about Rangers. It was the whole of Scotland was all for Rangers winning this, and they boys on the park. A lot of them suffered injuries, remember, through it, long-term injuries throughout the season. McGregor, Vickers, Hatate, etc., all best players out injured. But look, I think the last couple of months of the season, they showed their true strength. And that's why we're champions, because we've got players that know how to do it. They showed their strength, they showed their character. and they probably get sick hearing the same things we were hearing with the journalists and all that. And they showed their strength and character. And Brendan Rodgers as well got the best out of the players in the last 2 months. It's been outstanding. And to give it all the players marks for the season, 10 out of 10 to every single one of them, Xander. Amazing.
Yeah, well said, John. Well said. All right, John. Brilliant. So that wraps up the post-match for the season, John. This is our first season doing the podcast. What was your overall thoughts, John, doing the podcast for nearly a year?
It's been good, isn't it? It's good fun. Just gives you a wee hobby today, of course. Most of the work's all yours. I just do the talking, stand in the occasional time when you're sick or away or whatever on holiday or doing something. But it's been good fun. It's been good fun. And hopefully we can do it again next season. Xander, it'll be we'll still be doing it through the season, the close season, but it's been good fun. It's something different, isn't it? I don't watch podcasts myself. I used to watch them, but I don't watch them now. I haven't watched them for a couple of years. But taking part in one's a lot more fun, I think, Xander. It's been good fun.
Yeah, it's been a good laugh. And thank you to everybody that's contributed to the channel, John, especially yourself. But thank you to the viewers, the listeners, the watchers, the commenters. You know, it all helps the wee channel. We went through our own tough time during the season, not just Celtic, John. We had our own tough time. We had the double strike 6 months long, so we're trying to rebuild that just now. So it's been good. It's been good fun. I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed every minute of it, John. It's been superb. All right, comments, John. Have you got any comments for us?
Final comments of the season, Xander. Final comments of the season. Somebody's banging on my door right now, Xander. I think it's Amazon. I've got an Amazon parcel coming, but you can leave it at the door. They normally do.
Just in case anybody. You got it, so that's fine.
No, that's fine. Let's go on with the comments. So the first comment was, one club since 1888. You did a great job on your first season, lads. Just what we're talking about. Keep it going.
That's right. Well said, and as a regular. So thanks to all our regulars as well, and the new commenters, obviously. But the regulars, you know, they've been there through thick and thin, and it's good to see the new commenters as well. One club since 1888. Yeah, it's been a laugh, and we will keep it up because we're going to just continue as long as we possibly can, John.
That's all we can do. Thanks for your comment. One club since 1888. Good. Yep, you were a long ways for the ride the whole season.
Yeah, cheers, pal.
Next up is another regular. Roseanne says, looking to getting this over the line. All I can say is good luck to our brave boys. Hope all goes really well, lads. 3-0 she was predicting. And Roseanne's obviously another regular. Thanks for all your contributions throughout the season, Roseanne.
Yeah, thanks, Roseanne. And you know something, Roseanne? The boys were brave. You mentioned it a couple of minutes ago, John. Big Carter Vickers, you know, putting his head where there's bits flying, John. Tremendous. Hardly been mentioned, John. There was a ball coming into the box and he headed it while the Rangers player was hitting the shot, John. Absolutely bravery at the highest level, you know, and the rest of the boys were the same. So great comment, Roseanne. Well said.
Oh, he's a big, brave boy. Big Carter Vickers, I thought he was outstanding yesterday. He's been outstanding every game he's played in this season. Big Carter Vickers. But next up was Paul McCune, another regular. Hail the Celtic. Thanks for that, Paul.
Yeah, Paul, and we'll see you through the close season, pal. Just keep the comments coming in.
Thanks, Paul. Next up is another regular, James Doran. James has obviously won a few prizes and all that. James, another great regular, always leaves good comments and all that. So James says, buzzing for tomorrow's game at Hampden, and there could be a surprise in the starting lineup with Palmer starting. But most likely he will come off the bench in the second half. And if we turn up, we win. Simple as that.
Yeah, they're a good comment. Obviously, the Palmer thing was never going to happen. But James, thanks for your input through the season, pal. It's been brilliant having you on the podcast. But we're going to go into a podcast, John, regarding the players who should stay, who should go. I'll look back on the season as well. We're going to do all that next week, so we'll get to that on the podcast during the week.
Aye, that's good. Look forward to that. It's always good when the season's quiet. I quite enjoy the wee podcast because you other things to talk about. But thanks for your comment, by the way, James. Palmer in the starting lineup. I didn't think there was any chance of that, to be honest with you, mate. Wee Mutley, he's had a hard second half of the season, hasn't he? But, aye, good luck to Lewis Palmer. That's him. He's got more trophies than Tavernier.
If Lewis Palmer I don't know what happened to him in the second half of the season, John. That penalty miss for his country obviously had massive effect on him. You know, knocking his country out of the was it the Euros? I can't remember what tournament it was they were qualifying for, but they got knocked out, and he wasn't the same player since, was he, John?
No, he certainly wasn't. Is that in America, as you call that? I don't know what you call the South American version of the World Cup qualifiers. But anyway, Lewis Palmer missed the penalty, and then that was it. Just never did a good game after that. Yeah. That was a penalty for Honduras he missed, in case you're wondering what we're talking about. Anyway, next up was Paul McEwen, who says 4-0 Celtic. Then it was Paul McComb was up next. He says, great podcast, lads. Let's do this. I think I've already put mine in as 4-0, talking about his prediction.
Yeah, prediction, mad about football, unlucky Paul, by the way, who always enters the competitions. I'm going to have a revamp of the competition, John, during the summer. So there's no competition this week. I'm going to revamp it. I'm going to have another wee look at it. We'll have one set up for next week. So don't worry about it, folks. There'll be a new competition there with new prizes, I might add. But it just needs a wee revamp, John.
I don't think it needs overhauled at all, Xander. I think it's all right as it is.
Yeah, I just think people need to say a wee bit of something different, you know, just to keep the interest going. And obviously we need something different through the close season anyway, because there's no football on, John. So we'll have a wee look at it over the next few days.
Aye, well, I'll look forward to it. I don't know what the new prizes are, by the way. Still haven't told me, but I'll find out soon enough, I suppose. Next up was Roseanne again. P.S. I hope Thursday's plenty of room in the cabinet for all these cups. I hope no Thursday. I'm reading Roseanne writes with fours. Instead of saying four, she'll put four and all that. I'll read that again. P.S. I hope there's plenty of room in the cabinet for all these cups.
Yeah, there'll be plenty of room, don't worry. We'll make room. Let's put it that way, Roseanne. We'll make room because hopefully these glory days are going to continue for years to come, John.
Soon we'll be having to put cabinets in the main stand and all that, Xander. We're running out of space. Honestly, the amount of trophies that Celtic's won is unbelievable. Where these last 10, 15 years, whatever it is, 12 titles in 13 years. It's unbelievable, that, Xander. I mean, you just sit back and take that in. 12 trophies and 12 league trophies. League winners 12 out of 13 times. That's an outstanding achievement. Yeah,
that's right, John. And, there wasn't any tax dodges to do it either, was there? So, well done to Celtic. You know, we're just we're top of the world just now. We're just looking ahead as well, John. We're just going to build on this.
Exactly, aye. Well, I think that's exactly what will happen this season. We will build on it and we'll get stronger next season. But aye, lest we forget, Celtic's had 2 9 in a row. If you want to talk about the 9 in a row achievements, Celtic's got 2 of them. I think that's better than 1. Next up was we would never sell a club. Another regular, buzzing for today's game, and if we win, Celtic will have qualified both versions of RFC Trophy Hall. And I'm so confident of Celtic winning. Let's do this. I was confident as well, but I did predict it would be close. But I says 3-2, I think, in my predictor. But I knew there would only be 1 goal in it. I just had that feeling there'd be 1 goal in it. But look, it doesn't matter if there's 1 or 10 goals in it. It's getting the cup back to Celtic Park. That's the all-important thing.
Yeah, that's it. And the cup is in the trophy cabinet as we speak, John. It's absolutely tremendous, isn't it? It's to beat Rangers in the Scottish Cup final as well, John. To beat them in the final and put them back in the box, if you like, John, because there was a lot of gums getting rattled together yet again. Even after we won the league trophy last weekend, John, they came out their boxes. They were rattling their gums yet again. The Scottish press were all over Rangers. They were going to be they were going to win it. They were the favourites. They were going to do this and that. They didn't even get a cup double, John. They walk away with the League Cup, which means absolutely nothing. And Celtic have got a League and Scottish Cup double. Absolutely tremendous.
Oh, it's amazing, isn't it? It was before, after they won that League Cup, it was treble, treble, treble. The Rangers are going to win the treble. It's the treble, the treble, the treble, the treble. That's all they heard. That's all we heard. And then they lost the league. It's the double, the double, the double. We're going to do the double. We're going to be the best team in the country. We're going to do the double. What they're looking at now? The Diddy Cup.
Nicely summed up, John. Nicely summed up. And you're right, because it's, the League Cup, in our case, it's nice to be a treble. It's, they say, oh, whoever wins the League Cup, it pushes them on for the rest of the season. But who's at the other end of this season, John, with 2 trophies, the league, £60 million jackpot in the Champions League, and the Scottish Cup, a memorable double in the sunshine, John. It's Celtic, John. It's just the club are full of serial winners.
That's it. They should change their name to Serial Winners Celtic, or Celtic Serial Winners FC, because they're unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. And I'll never tire it, Xander. It's amazing, and I will never get fed up rubbing it in their faces that how good we are, because we went through the barren years, as we keep saying, and this is just beautiful. Every season we get to be happy all through the summer. That's just amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's brilliant, John. Yeah, it's and long may it continue. But we can't stop. We've got to push on, and we've got to spend this money in the summer, John. We're obviously going to get into that in the close season. This podcast is about the celebration, so we'll leave that there, John. You any more comments for us, buddy?
I wanted to spend some of the money on new cabinets, as I says, because we're running out of space. But let's not hit the IKEAs under it.
Aye, that's it. That's it. Get the cabinets in, because we're hopefully going to need them. All joking aside, John, it's just so good being a Celtic supporter.
It's amazing, Xander. It's absolutely amazing. Can't say any more than that. It's the best thing in the world. Think of how we'd all be feeling right now if we won nothing. Even if we get beat yesterday, how we'd be feeling right now. But that was just the icing on the cake yesterday. It just made this last, 15 years all the sweeter for some reason. It just feels amazing. But anyway, let's continue with the last of the comments. We'll get off of here, Xander, because that's over an hour.
Yeah.
Rosemary says it's getting nervy now in 3-1. Thanks for that, Rosemary.
Yeah, cheers for that, pal. And thanks for your contributions all through the season as well, pal. Appreciate it.
One club since 1888 says 1-1 at full time. Celtic to win in extra time. Thankfully, it wasn't 1-1, one club. It was 1-0. Even better.
Yeah, even better. Yeah, good guess. It was a good guess. It could easily have been 1-1 with that disallowed goal, but 1-0 it was. So unlucky, and keep your comments coming in as well, pal. And thanks for all your efforts through the season. And
James Doran to finish it. James says it will be very interesting to see how Walsh handles the game tomorrow with regards to handing out yellow cards. Well, we spoke about that. He was against Celtic players' yellow cards or virtually nothing.
It's a good way to end it, the comments there, John. Let's talk about the referee, because we didn't really talk about it because we were celebrating, basically. But I thought that was a shocking performance by the referee yesterday, John. It's yellow card after yellow card for Celtic players when there's no hard tackles going in. Absolutely shocking referee.
Aye, it was poor. It was very, very poor. And they were going in for crunching tackles and walking away from it without bookings. The usual, we're seeing this all the time. Like, going in for crunching tackles and walking away. Celtic player, if you tug on a jersey, there's a yellow. If you trip, there's a yellow. Aye, look, guys like that will just be sick right now, wouldn't they? The officiating was poor. But on the other side of the coin, I will say thanks to John Beaton for calling that decision over to get looked at for the Rangers goal. So thank you, John Beaton, for that.
Yeah, that's right. He was the man on the VAR, wasn't he, John Beaton? So, it's I didn't think there was anything wrong with that goal, and I was shocked when I saw that they'd stopped the game to have to check for a possible push on the goalkeeper. And then when I saw Nick Walsh going over the screen, I thought, oh, there's a wee chance this could get chopped off here. You never know, mind you, in this country, but there's a wee chance it could get chopped off, and it was, John. It was brilliant at that moment, wasn't it?
It was absolutely splendid. And John Beaton, You'll be forever welcomed in the Hoops bar for a wee pint if you want to join the winners instead of the losers side. It's up to you. But look, all joking aside, it was just amazing that goal was chopped half. But when their fans were celebrating and all that, I was like, I just had a bad feeling. I was like, I can't believe this. But the goal was coming.
Yeah.
You could feel something was going to happen, and they did get the goal. And like yourself, I didn't see anything wrong with it until you seen the wee shovel on Joe Hart. Was a bit soft, but I think in the end it was the correct decision because Joe, I think, would have got to that because he was dealing with the corners the whole game. And if he wasn't shoved off his spot where he was standing, I think he'd have got that, Xander, to be honest with you. So, correct decision, I think.
Yeah, and as you said a minute ago there, John, there was the wee feeling that something was going to happen because you remember the one just before the goal, there was a beautiful ball played through and the Rangers player cut it out. That was, I think it was Idah was right through in goal, John, at that point. So we were trying to hit them on the counter-attack. So the signs that were there, the Celtic were looking to hit them on the counter-attack. Then obviously it happened with Bernardo's run right into the box. So yeah, the signs were there, John, well said. And that moment did happen. The goal came. And the rest is history, as they say. So, John, thanks for reading out the comments. Absolutely super. I appreciate that. Thanks for doing it all through the season as well, John. That's appreciated. All right, John. We're going to be doing wee podcasts, wee news flashes, if you like, through the close season. We're also going to hit on the Euros as well, John. We're going to hit on that. So keep your eyes open for the podcasts through the summer. What have you got planned for the summer, John?
Watch the Euros. I don't know. Nothing. I don't really plan anything. Just take each day as it comes. But I'll definitely be watching the Euros and enjoy the big competitions like the Euros, the World Cup. You know, I'm not really a big international football fan, to be honest with you. You know, watching qualifiers, not, but enjoy the big tournaments. I do enjoy watching them. Because I always like to see if there's a wee underdog involved or whatever. But with regards to what you say about being on the podcast, pleasure's all mine, Xander. It's been great. It's been a good laugh. It's been good meeting all the new people, talking to them in the comments and all that. And I look forward to the next season and the close season. So it's been all good for me.
Yeah, brilliant. Well said, John. Okay, John, we'll wrap it up there. Oh, what a season. What a season. A wee final sum up before we go. Congratulations to Celtic. Congratulations to Brendan as well. Serial winners, FC, as John says 5 minutes ago. We just need to keep it going. We'll catch you all in the close season. In fact, we'll catch you all midweek for any news bulletins that may arrive. Congratulations to the boys again, and we'll catch you all through the week. So hail for now, everybody, and thanks very much.
And all the Rangers fans, keep your chins up. There's always next season. Cheers, Xander.
Next season, FC. Cheers, John. See you later, buddy.
See you later, Xander.
Celtic up to the edge of the penalty area. Goes for goal. Takes a deflection. Ballin. It's in. Adam Idah has scored for Celtic in the 89th minute, and surely now Celtic are going to take home the double. Butland could only parry it back out. It might have taken a deflection. Butland couldn't keep a hold of it, and Adam Idah was the man on the spot to knock it home. It is Celtic 1,